So Jack, another Magic Millions. How's the how do you think the sales been this week from your point of view?
I think the sales been strong for the right horses.
Yep.
So I think maybe the quality is like a tad down,
Yep.
but the thirst for good horses is probably as high as ever.
Yep.
So the right horses are making a heap, and I think that's putting a bit of pressure on those sort of next tier, which is us.
Yep.
But we're a real price sensitive joint, so we just sort of do our work, learn as we go, and just wait for the opportunity to come.
So, was this type of sale like last year, the year before? Is this a sale that you'd see as a hunting ground, or would you normally conserve your funds for maybe a future sale or online, etc.?
We don't sort of look to like have stock to sell.
Yeah.
We're learning as we go. We're a really young syndicator.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like a bloodstock agent in a way.
Yeah.
We're heavily driven by data.
Yeah, yeah.
And this sale performs well.
Yep.
And each farm has its own characteristics at this sale and overall.
So Lindsay joined us from the Mailbag Bloodstock as well. So Jack, a little bit of an insight. The sale obviously gives us an insight to where you think the sale sets strength and where you think the Mailbag Bloodstock has been sitting this week.
We've been coming here as a brand. I've been coming longer, but we've been coming as a brand for 3 years.
Yeah.
We purchased almost a $500,000 filly the first sale.
Yeah.
And a $55,000 filly the same sale.
Oh wow, yeah.
So, I think if you really like one, you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's plenty of opportunity here. There's a ton of horses, and we're just trying to marry up the data of a farm, a stallion.
Yep.
We've got biomechanical data that we've imported, and we've got a horseman, an old bloodstock agent with a lot of experience, is where I think we might be a bit weak to sort of bring us up to speed, but also educate us as we go, because we're learning as we go as well. So far, we've had a lot of success, but we're not going to sort of sit on that. We're going to continue to learn, continue to try and buy the right horses, but not force it. Rule number one, never force it. We're not trying to fill our shells to have something to sell.
Yeah.
We're just trying to find the right horse if we get it at the right price. And if we don't, we don't. We're not worried about it. We've got plenty of horses. We're way ahead, to be honest, of where I thought we'd be in this timeline as a business.
Yep.
So there's no pressure to buy, but it would be nice to find, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horses at this sale.
Yep.
But so far, we've not been able to achieve that.
Okay. And you are, as you said, data-driven. Why data and not subjective?
Well, if you analyse the history of bloodstock, there's no one real person to me that stands out as a genius.
Yeah.
There's guys who are really lucky, I think, but it's not consistent, and it's all the guys who have had a lot of success are buying at a price point that it's sort of hard to miss in a way. So sort of look at it as we're coming into a space, how can we do it differently and have our own sort of edge versus guys who have been looking at a horse for 50, 30, 40 years, right? And breaking down the numbers and just having that as another filter. So in my mind, we're just chucking horses through a bunch of filters, finishing with a vet, that hopefully it spits out, a bunch of them at a sale.
Yep.
That we like enough to race.
Yep.
Because we're staying everything we buy. And then just hope to the gods, Zeus, Allah, Buddha, Bilbo Baggins, Liam and Noel Gallagher, that one of them slips through the cracks, in a sense. Because I'm a punter, so I'm price sensitive. And data drives my punting and data drives my bloodstock decisions. And it's all about price, which is so far not been too painful because, we catalogue, so we're data driven, so we've got 3 years of horses we almost bought, we bid on but didn't go again on.
Yeah.
And so far, none of them have haunted my dreams. Okay. But I'm sure it'll happen. But we bought the 2 horses. Did we say that already?
Yeah. Oh no.
He came in and is that when Lindsay entered?
No. He might have crashed in at the wrong time, but it's all good. We can recap. So with this sale, what have you bought before? What's your roll call of what's came through and
We didn't purchase a horse last year.
Yep.
So I guess that sort of proves how price sensitive we are. We're not going to force it. But the first year we came here as a business, we bought a Schnitzel filly that's a half to an Oaks winner, and paid 420,000 for her maybe. She was enormous first up, fastest last everything of the day. She went to town and won a rich maiden at Randwick.
Who trains her?
Kieran Ma, Dave Eustace, or soon to be just Kieran. Then she started favourite in a Group 3 third start, so she's away, but she's looks like she's quite promising.
And what's her name?
Until Valhalla. So she's a Schnitzel filly out of a Fizz-Larry mare. We bought her off Vinery, I think sort of via Jerry. And at the same sale, we bought a $55,000 Vancouver filly who just got to the races. Should have won, didn't. Fastest last everything of the day again, so she'll go around and be very hard to beat the next time she goes. And the mail is from Kieran again, that she's going to be a better horse next prep. But you'd expect that she'll start sort of $2, $3 any maiden in Victoria next start. And she looks like she's going to be good too. So far, although we've done hours and hours of work and only got the 2 horses from this sale, they've both proven to be good horses and they'll both be winners.
And you, as we mentioned, are data driven. Come to a sale, how can you correlate your data? Because if it was, everyone has different approaches. If data is your main focus point, how do you accumulate that data? And what do you base it on? Like, what's your fundamentals?
Well, just historical performance of stallions, mums, farms, sales. And it's just a starting point. It's just another filter for us to identify value, right? Then I spent the whole of this sale with Butch Bourne, who's a judge and a half. Very, very funny man too. So it's been entertaining and a learning experience all in one. So we've got his eye on the horse as well as mine. And just trying to sort of put that all into a mix and find a few horses we like enough to vet, and then pray to God that we can, get 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I think we've got a good balance. We look at our data and which helps us.
Lindsay's he bets with me as well, and comfortably the best trial judge I've ever seen. So there might be horses in this catalogue that have had, a 2-year-old that hasn't raced yet, but it might have trialled. And his read and grip on those trials is outstanding, and it's a big edge again. Because it might have had a really nice trial but then been put away. Most of the market doesn't know that. It's unraced. We know it's got a bit of ability. That might be another little tick for the horse. Or it's trialled like shit. And it's a big cross on that horse.
So would you, horses that you've had before, does that build up your database of, your understanding of, where horses sit, maybe that stallion, like maybe good...
No, not so much data. It's just like, we're just learning as we go. So things to focus on, like, we've been lucky in a way with the things I've really demanded from a vetting point of view have proven to be pretty strong. Like we won't take any risk with a vet. Just because we're risk adverse. They're big investments for us and anyone who gets involved. And the last thing you want is a problem that you could have avoided at the sale.
Correct. Now, trainers, how do you go about selecting the right horse or the right trainer? I'm guessing you'd have multiple trainers you'd race with, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so we've had a ton of success with tried horses with Gavin Bedgood in Victoria. So purchased Just Folk 200,000, I don't know when, not long ago. He's won, the horse has raced 4 times or 5 times for us, won 250,000 and a Group 3. With Gavin, bought Keats for 25 grand, he's won 400 grand.
Where'd you buy him from?
English Digital.
Oh, right,
So we're buying a lot of tried horses, just sort of using our form analysis there more so as a big starting point. You kind of know the horse can gallop if it can gallop.
That's pretty much pure data.
And then so that a lot of those tried horses will go to Gavin. And then with the yearlings, Gavin as well, his own communications, which is sort of what we built our business on at the start because we didn't know if we'd be any good at it. We've got a racing manager full-time from the start, John O'Rayner, who does a phenomenal job. And customer communications is like our #1 priority, right? Gavin's sensational at that. But then when you're buying a yearling, it's sort of, if it's a cutest horse, well, it can't go to Gavin, can't go to Kieran, can't go to anyone else that doesn't train in Queensland, you know? So it sort of narrows it down. So the breeding schemes are a big factor in a decision of where a trainer might go.
Yep.
You also, on the grounds, as you know, everyone's talking to everyone.
Yep.
If you know that, you know, Nathan Doyle's on a horse and you like a horse, well, there's no point going against each other if it's a Bob's horse. You align and try and get it done.
Yeah. How does that? Do you just let him? If you hypothetical, you see Nathan bidding on a horse that you like, how do you communicate that you want to stop bidding, but you want to be in the horse? How does that work?
I'd sort of say, like, whoever it was, you know, like, I'm happy to go to 100 grand on this horse.
Yeah.
That'll pull me up. So then if Kieran or Nathan or Gavin or Adrian Bott or whoever it was bought the horse for 160, well, good luck with it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, we're very, very price sensitive. I think you have to be.
And is that from your point of view, as in the ability to sell? Is that value for the person coming into the horse? Like,
Ability to sell is irrelevant to us.
Yeah.
Until we're stuck with the horse, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just about what's an overlay. So, like, when you're betting on horses to win money betting, it's about going, I think this horse is a $3 chance and the market's offering me $4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I think it's the most likely winner is a $3 chance, but the market's $2.50, well, I'm not backing that horse.
Oh, really?
No way.
so you head into the sale price. At what point is it just bid by bid? You know, you sit down, you got your short list, long list, and you're on the ring. What happens if you get too early? Would you continue and buy 5, or do you have an overall pool that you're willing to spend across the sale? Is it horse by horse?
It's yet to be an issue.
Yeah, okay.
But if we had already got 5 horses, that'd probably pull us up.
Yeah.
But you'd just try and get involved with trainers that like that horse and just take a little bit less of it.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to have to sell a ton.
You do that within Valhalla, but don't you as well? Like there's multiple syndicates within that ownership, isn't there?
Yeah.
But it's in your colours.
Yeah. So we sort of we'll take enough to take colours when we need to. But at the start, I'm just going to buy the horse myself.
Yeah.
For sure. And then you just sort of treat it as it comes. We've inspected, I reckon, 1,100 horses or something at this sale.
Cheers.
You know, so then each day you've got a game plan for the second, third looks.
Yeah.
And then if they all scrape through everything, they tick all the boxes, the biomechanical data from Racing Squared, that Tom Wilson, it's phenomenal gear, that.
Yeah. It streamlines it a lot, so we're very particular already, so streamlines it.
Yeah.
And then we're very price sensitive at the same time, which adds to that. So we're not really looking at too many horses each day. It streamlines it a lot.
Yep.
And then we're price sensitive, so.
So then you just come into a day, you might have 10 lots today that we like, you know?
Yeah.
And then we just, well, I was saying a lot, but it's the truth. You just pray to God that you like it enough more than the next bloke, but at a price you're happy to pay.
Well, there's 1,486 catalogued options. You know, you can't buy them all, but you want to leave with something. The experience, imagine buying from Magic Millions. Is there any emotional or is there anything that like triggers why you'd buy here, not like a English Premier or even online? You know, or again, does that just come down to the?
Not for us. No. I love being up here. Yeah. It's a great break. I think you have to really like handle yourself mentally up here. Like, I'm very mature now. A younger me, like certainly the first year, there's a few days when I got here when I just needed Gatorade and 4 Panadol. But
I seen you going hard last year. I remember at the Kieran Marr party. I seen you. You were socialised below that.
I kind of like have like 2 gears. Yeah. You know, it's like mature father, businessman, or psychopath. You know what I mean?
I can attest to that.
Yeah. So this year, I've got 2 kids now. I'm very mature, mate. I've done 20 laps every morning in the pool. Feeling good, trying to make good decisions. But each sale is its own thing. Like, it's great to be here, but it doesn't. I'm not trying to buy because I'm here. You know what I mean? But it's a solid adrenaline rush when you're buying. But that's probably maybe because we're young. Yeah. I don't know. It might like. Yeah, when you're PG Moody, you might just have another Benson Edges and just it's another day in the office. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out in 10 years. But it gets the heart pumping.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, you got to get something that's like a something that's an outlet. You know, like horse racing is everyone in there is so focused. We're all buying from the same pool of horses, bred in the same country, the same pool of trainers.
I suppose with the digital sales, it's not a rush at all. It's just a decision, and it's all about price. It's more for me, like when Just Folk wins a Group 3, it's more relief because I've got a bunch of new people into our stable to race a horse with us, and I've done it. You know, we've won. They've got their money back already. They've won a Group 3. They're elated, but I'm more kind of like, oh, thank fuck. Job done.
And the responsibility of it, you manage the horse as well, and you say that communications is important. Is that something that's common in all stables of like good communication, or does it differ like syndication? Like where does it sit?
It's common in our stable because it's like expected, and Jono will just drive it from a trainer if we don't get it.
And Kieran's, I've been an owner with Kieran myself, and you get a lot of information from Kieran's stable.
And we provide, that's sort of where we come into our own a bit too. So we provide content for your horse on top of what you get. So when your horse goes to the races, I give it like a 5-minute preview with Jono about that race. Each runner, speed maps, what I think the price of the horse should be, whether I'm having a bet or not. And then particularly post-race, the stables will give you like a stable report. Horse is fine, 8 up. She looks well. We'll give her 2 or 3 days, and then we'll look for the next race. On top of that, we're analysing the whole meeting. You know, your horse was the 3rd fastest last 200 metres of the day. It's settled in lanes 3 and 4, positions 5 and 6. The majority of the winners on this day settled 1 and 2. So that adds merit to your horse's performance and gives me more confidence next start. Those sort of sectionals tell me we might go 1,200 to 1,400 next start, or we might drop back. That's where we really come into our own. So with horses we Gav, like Gav is where we're doing most of our racing because we're buying a tried horse that's ready to go. But just little tricks like targeting certain tracks, certain types of races, we control, well not control, but we have the sort of final say in jockeys, which are a key thing. Like I know from betting, you know, I might love a horse, but it's got Rider X on it. Well, I can't back that. You know what I mean? That'll just pivot me away. They've got to make a big decision in run here, and I don't like it. So we're trying to tick all those little boxes. Once we secure a horse, that's when we really sort of that's when we sort of flourish, I guess.
And that data helps us too. If we have a horse or a 64, first up, runs in a 64, runs 3.5 lengths quicker than the normal 64 grade. We know we can win a 64 with that horse somewhere. We get the right setup, the right jockey, and then we can work with Gav or whatever trainer to get that setup in place, and then we can win a 64 or say whatever race we're targeting that horse to.
And you're still maximising that horse within his grade as well, or he or she within the grade.
You know the best way to measure it? Like, this is kind of like true for anything, with any stable, any trainer, syndicator. The results are one thing, but it's just a simulation, horse racing, right? They're odds. The truth is actually like what prices are those horses starting? Is to how well the horse is being placed, right? So like we had that Until Valhalla go to a Group 3 from a maiden, which is a bit ballsy. She started favourite. So the collective intelligence of the whole betting community said that horse is the most likely winner of this group race. So it wasn't like we took her from a maiden. If we took her from a maiden, if I was an owner and I took the horse from a maiden to a Group 3 and she started hundreds, well, I would be filthy. I've failed, you know what I mean? We're just trying to get a horse in a group race. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be having horses that are running around in races where they're expected to run in the back half.
Now, you talk about experience. When they go to the races, you're talking about managing group expectations and enjoyment. What does your group of owners look like at the races, and what's kind of day like with it?
Old and young. I started this business to share. The only thing I've ever been good at, I was a carpenter, but I could build you a deck, but it's probably where I sort of pull up, you know, I wasn't very good. All I've ever been good at is betting, and I want to share what I'm good at with my family. So if you race a horse with me at the races, you'll probably meet my kids. You know, I take my kids to the track, I take my kids to track work. That's what I like. That's what I'm trying to get out of this thing, and I'm just trying to make it as successful enough that I can make a bit of a living out of it at the same time. So if you race horses with us at the races, it's not a party unless it's a big day. We had a runner in All-Star Mile. That was a fucking party.
I was about to mention that.
That was a big night. But the kids got looked after that day.
Yeah.
But you know, when you race a horse with us, there'll be a toddler, you know, a 20-year-old bloke, a guy's son and daughter, 60-year-old. Like we've taken owners because we've had a great start. Well, they bought into Keats, then they bought into Just Folk, so 25k horse, 200k horse, same sort of blokes are in a lot of our horses. Like Chaz, he'll probably watch this. He's in every horse we've ever got, just about, you know. And he's quite old. You're quite old, Chaz, but he's great value. And so there's an array of, it's an eclectic bunch of people.
And with obviously, we've developed the platform Stridyl. Now, one thing we do is we host podcasts and content because we're content driven. We're all content driven. You guys seem to be very content driven. Is that been deliberate? That you know, because how I met you guys was through like Kieran when you did a podcast. I'll rephrase it. How important is content to raise awareness of what you're doing in your owner's experience?
I think content's like coupled with results.
Yeah.
Right? People aren't going to buy a horse with me because I'm funny and sharp.
Yeah.
They're going to buy a horse with me because I'm good at it, I think. But I love content. My content probably born out of a severe frustration with the vanilla dot ball content that this industry spits out, which is no knock on the people doing it. They're petrified of offending a trainer or a jockey. Yes, there's little upside in going like, well, he can't ride or he can't train, because then you're going to be an outcast in this game, right? But doing your own content allows you a little bit of freedom to sort of say what you think, as long as you do it in a strong enough way, I think.
Yep.
But so the mailbag was sort of built on content at the start. Yep. It's not now, but we still do a bit when we want. I do a podcast with Tom Packley.
Yeah. He's not a bad EFL player.
He's pretty handy.
Is he a judge of a horse? Or?
Loves. He owns a couple with us. That's how we sort of become mates.
Yep.
Loves his golf. He's not a great golfer. He's got a few issues, particularly with the putter, but he's not alone there. I've got severe head noirs with the putter. But yeah, so that podcast is just evolving, and the content for me is fun.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a business. It's like a release, I guess. Yeah. So like me and Paps did one with J-Mac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually managed to get J-Mag, and did you bag him out there, or was it like?
But it's not like oh, what's your best ride tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know, what did you think of that ride? Like, it's just like, how do you handle? Well, how are you going to get yourself right for the Spring Carnival? What do you do different this time? What do you learn from last time you came to Melbourne? Or do you take your kids with you? Stuff that interests me.
Yeah. And I met him at Ascot when he was riding Coolangatta, and he's probably inundated with questions, but he was very pleasant, very approachable, and obviously very knowledgeable of what he does. So I would imagine for yourself, again, asking those right questions gets to know your guests and adds value to the viewer who get those uncurated conversations.
I reckon in life, if you do things that you're interested in and you enjoy, it's easy, and it's not too much like, it's not a grind to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to replicate and do a good job. And so like I want to do that podcast. I want to be here learning about horses. I want to learn. It's like what I'm interested in. So it's easy to do. You know what I mean? No one's paying me to be here. I'm here off my own bat. And Lindsay's getting a little bit of a cheeky earn, but he deserves it.
And content like this, I think it's just crucial. Like, as a young person, my point of view is the industry is much of the same a lot of the time. And things like this and new podcasts and getting to know jockeys, getting to know trainers, getting to know little intricacies of the horses and the people in our industry, I think it's a great thing. And platforms like this and podcasts and I think it's just crucial.
We've connected because you're outside the square. You're taking it on yourself. That's me. I like that. You know, it resonates with me. So I'm stoked to be part of this. and I believe in it, and I want to support it.
And for us, it's the hardest thing is getting support. You know, an industry which is very traditional, not set in its ways, but the evolution is maybe a little bit slower from what we see in other industries. With the platform like the ownership marketplace, the Mailbag Bloodstocks came on now to advertise horses. Is that to connect with a wider audience and make it a little bit easier to find your horses? Is it to get your content out to a wider audience? Why did you entrust Stridyl to advertise your bloodstock?
Because I think you're above average. I don't know anything else about the product, to be honest. I trust that you're above average, and I'm very impressed and proud of Jono, who organised it all.
But he was on it like flash.
Because he's my man. We're getting better every day. It's very smart. You're smart. It's different. Why not try it? Like you would be. I want to support your product, but also want no one else to be on it. So it's a bit of a conflict here. But you would be stupid to not try it, in my opinion. What have you got to lose?
Well, actually, we had a client who said when we were talking to another traditional, syndicator who's very successful. He said, "Why would I want to advertise next to someone else?" And it was that commonality of going, well, consumer now, you buy a house, you go realestate.com, you compare everything, credit cards, car sales, Uber Eats. Nowadays, you don't want to pull out the Chinese menu from the top drawer on a Friday night. We now want to be able to compare, as you say, value and location and trainer and even like syndicator. I think it's important that people are empowered to make a selection based on their own, what they see, filters and values.
And just on that, we have earned more prize money in than we've spent on bloodstock that's raced so far. Which I don't want to stuff up, and I think it'd be quite rare in this game. That's why I don't want to go and force it and just buy the horse we want, It's got to be the right price. I want to keep growing that long term. That's something I'm really proud of. And
this week, with your purchases, how do people get involved? Obviously, we've got this ownership marketplace, but you mentioned Jono. How do people and how should they, contact you guys?
Mailbagbloodstock.com.au, but it's just mainly Jono, Jono, at themailbag.com.au. Shoot him an email. You'll hit send. Go for get a coffee. You'll have an answer. He's on it.
And just to bring it up to light, just in case anyone hasn't visited, and obviously yourself is extremely busy, if you head to the ownership marketplace, Stridyl ownership marketplace, you find the horse you like with the Mailbag Bloodstock. The person who wants to put in their details, the inquiry goes directly to Jono for free. There's no hidden costs. And again, that's to simplify the process. So hopefully we'll see more people becoming an owner with the Mailbag Bloodstock. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Buddy. Thanks, guys. Cheers, buddy.